What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We've got a new camera. We're testing out one of my friend's cameras, not my own, but it's a Canon T4i. We've got a lot of lighting, so you guys can see what I'm doing a little bit better. A new microphone attachment as well. So hopefully these videos are just gonna get better and better, and just better quality content for you guys. But today we're gonna be working on some underbody restoration. So being that this car is about now 23 years old, you're gonna get some surface rust. This car is not the best when it comes down to being rust free. E36s are known for rusting issues. Common spots are like the jack points in the front and back. Actually, they're not good. Floor pans, people rust out. The strut towers, anywhere realistically. But today we're gonna focus on the sway bar mount. So what we have here is the sway bar which mounts to the frame of the car. This is known for rusting, very common spot. People actually have to replace these. So what we're going to do is some preventative measures just so that we don't have to do that in the future, and hopefully even the next owner doesn't have to. But we're going to clean this up and put some preventative measure rust pour 15 on there. So at the end of it all, it'll go from looking like this to hopefully looking like that, and hopefully that's in focus. But yeah, so let's get started. The car is on jack stands already. We've already done this side. This is secured overnight, and I can say it's looking a lot better, and hopefully it'll keep the rust away. So let's begin. Just so you know, Six Garage has a shop cat. Her name is Moo. She is a stray cat who likes to come to my house to get fed, and she loves playing with me, like you can see. But look, there you go. So say hello. Okay, so what I did, I went out and purchased this pour 15 rust stop kit. As you can see, it does a really good job at preventing rust. Lots of people have vouched for this. I've seen tons and tons of videos on how to use this, but I really wanted to give this a shot, so I've used this on my sway bar points there, and also on my jack points. So in the rear, in the front, these are common spots for E36 to rust, so you might as well just do some preventative measures, stop it from basically rusting to crumble and eventually crack, and you don't want that. So a little bit of time spent, it's just going to save your car in the long run. So this kit comes with a couple things. You get the cleaner and the degreaser in the green bottle. You get a metal prep, which makes the surface a little bit tacky, I've noticed. It just really prepares it for the pour 15 to be applied. The other thing I suggest you have with you while you're doing this is some wire brush like this, or you can do it by hand if you like, if you use some sandpaper. To save time, and obviously for the purpose of the video we don't want to make it too long, we also have a sort of clean disc here. It's also very good at removing those flat surface rust spots. You don't want like too much rust, I would say. If you can remove it, better off to do that prior to applying the pour 15. Okay, a couple of things before you start. Put your car on some jack stands. Do not work on it with just the jack. Not a good idea. Be safe. Use proper jack stands, of obviously ones that can handle the weight of your car and are probably approved. You're working under a car that weighs probably like 3,000 pounds. You don't want to risk yourself being under there. I don't care if it's the front, back, wherever you're working. As long as you're under the car in any sense, put it on jack stands to be on the safe side. The other thing is pour 15 and the cleaner, degreaser, metal prep. All of those things are very harsh chemicals. If you don't want to get them on your skin, you don't want to get them on your eyes, none of that. So wear gloves, proper nitrile, or in my case I'm wearing my Mastercraft gloves. Mastercraft, sponsor me please. But wear your proper appropriate gloves, protection eyewear, mask, anything you think is appropriate when you're working on your car, please wear it. It's written on the box. So before we start with the pour 15 stuff, like I said, we're going to start grinding away at the metal. Now, I obviously don't think you guys need to see me grinding metal, but the whole point obviously is to get rid of all the surface crap, anything that's stuck to the metal. So in this case, anything that's like loose, I would. You can see it there; it's flying off, and then the metal will be clean and bare and ready for the 415 stuff. So let me start with that. I'm going to use the combination of, again, this grinding disc. Let me get some just lighting on that so that you guys can see it. So this grinding disc and also the wire wheel. So I'm going to start with the wire wheel just to get off all the loose stuff, and then I'll hit it with this. It helps if you have different types of grinding wheels. If you don't, it's fine, you can do it by hand, but I do also have this one, a little bit flatter, and it gets in behind the bolt and stuff, so I'm going to try this next. Switch over to grinding disc. Okay, so I'm going to start with some brake cleaner just because it's quick, like I said. So give it a quick spritz. And you'll see all that lovely brown rust fall off. It's good at removing all the dirty oils and grime, so that's why I prefer it. But the cleaner and degreaser that comes with the kit is fantastic. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It does require you to, one, water it down according to the instructions, and two, they also suggest that you apply it, use it, whatever, wipe it off, and then also wash it. Given that we're inside in the middle of winter, I cannot turn on the water in here just because it's freezing. So I've used this method of using the brake cleaner, and it works wonders. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so once you're done wiping it down, make sure everywhere you're going to apply at least has been hit, and obviously some around it too, just because you don't want to like start applying your 415 here and then all the grease from up here starts streaming down. You don't want that, so just try and clean just past your area. There we go. Next step is to use metal prep. You're going to have to apply this with a brush. It comes with a couple brushes, I'll be honest, the kit, but I bought a couple extra just because you're obviously not going to use this entire thing or the 415 can at one time. If you are, great. If you're not, buy a couple extra brushes because you're going to end up needing them. So you brush this on, let it sit, make sure you keep sort of the area wet with the metal prep for about 10 minutes or so, and then we're just going to rinse it off. I'm just going to fill up a spray bottle with water so I can rinse it off after the fact, but we're going to do this next. A little brush like this is good enough. And honest, just a little bit of the metal prep goes a long way. Like, you'll be able to soak this whole thing with like one dab, to be honest. It spreads really easy. It's super, I forget if it's viscous. I think it's viscous, but anyhow, so yeah, just apply it, make sure it stays wet. So in my case, I'm also going to be doing the mounts up here a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way up to the top. I'm just going to stop just about here, as I did on the other side. And we're back. Get yourself a little spray bottle of water and wipe this down. So let me get my microfiber, spritz it up. And wipe it down. Okay, so next step. Take your 415. There's the can. Pour it out as much as you need. My can's almost done, so I'm just going to use this time actually out of the can. It's pretty much empty at this point. So take that, get your clean brush. Don't use the same one that you used earlier, and apply it. Brush it on evenly. Don't put it on thick. It doesn't. Based on their suggestion, it actually is better if it goes on thin. You can do 2 coats. However, if you don't need to, don't bother. This stuff spreads a lot, so a little bit, similar to the metal prep, goes a long way. You don't need much. I'm still using my first dab, as you can see. Still going strong. Okay, so after you've coated it, make sure you get all around. In my case, I think I missed some spots, but I'm gonna just do that quickly. Take your time on this step. Don't rush this part, because this part, you want to make sure you don't leave any pinholes and any spots that are not coated, just because that's where rust will start to come through, and then it'll suck. So take your time, coat these things properly, go over them, make sure you've covered every little bit of it. I'm not too worried about these bushings because I think I'll end up replacing them anyways. So if you want to take yours off and do it, might be even better. But again, take your time and you'll see the final product looks something like that. So appreciate you guys watching these videos. I'm going to try and obviously post more content. I apologize for taking so long for this video, but hope you enjoyed this one and hope it helps you guys out. Until next time.